The meat so controversial countries are banning it. There's a type of meat that looks real, smells real, cooks like real meat, and according to many people who've tried it, even tastes real. But despite all that, governments around the world are either banning it, restricting it, or fighting over whether it should even be called meat at all. That alone should tell you this story is bigger than food. Scientists are now growing meat inside laboratories using animal cells instead of raising and slaughtering entire animals. What started as a strange science fiction concept has quietly turned into one of the most controversial industries on Earth. And the deeper you look into it, the clearer it becomes that this battle is about money, politics, control, and the future of the global food system. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden side of ordinary things, subscribe to Behind Ordinary Things, because some of the world's most important stories are happening far away from public attention. The technology behind lab-grown meat is already real. The idea sounds futuristic, but it already exists. Scientists can now take a small sample of cells from an animal like a cow, chicken, or salmon and place those cells inside machines called bioreactors. These machines carefully control oxygen, nutrients, temperature, sugar, and minerals to help the cells grow naturally into muscle and fat tissue. In simple terms, they recreate the same biological process that normally happens inside a living animal, except it happens inside a controlled environment instead. Back in 2013, researchers introduced the world's first lab-grown beef burger in London. According to reports from Reuters and the BBC, that single burger cost over $250,000 to produce. It was expensive, but it proved the technology actually worked. Since then, the industry has advanced quickly. Some companies are now producing cultivated salmon, chicken, and beef that closely resemble traditional meat in texture and flavor. The modern meat industry created the conditions for this technology. One major reason lab-grown meat exists is because industrial meat production has changed dramatically over the last century. As the world population exploded, meat demand increased with it. To keep up, many farms became large-scale industrial operations focused on producing massive quantities as cheaply as possible. That led to crowded animal facilities, rapid growth systems, and widespread antibiotic use. The World Health Organization has repeatedly warned that excessive antibiotic use in livestock contributes to antibiotic resistance in humans. Environmental researchers have also linked industrial meat production to pollution, deforestation, and greenhouse gas emissions. Fish farming introduced its own problems. Some fish farms struggle with parasites, disease outbreaks, poor water quality, and overcrowding. Supporters of cultivated meat argue that growing meat in clean laboratory environments could reduce many of these issues while creating a more controlled food system. That's why investors poured billions into the industry. So why are so many countries against it? Most people assume lab-grown meat is banned because it's dangerous. But the situation is much more complicated than that. A few countries, including Singapore and the United States, have approved certain cultivated meat products after safety reviews. However, many governments remain cautious, while some political groups openly oppose the technology. The biggest reason is economic pressure. Traditional meat production is one of the largest industries in the world. Cattle farming, poultry companies, commercial fisheries, and agricultural organizations generate enormous amounts of money every year. If lab-grown meat becomes cheaper and widely accepted, it could seriously disrupt those industries. That's why major debates have started over labeling laws, regulations, and restrictions. Some farming organizations argue cultivated meat should not legally be called meat at all. Others want tighter regulations that slow the industry down. Critics of the bans believe governments are protecting powerful agricultural industries from competition. Supporters of restrictions argue the technology is too new and needs stronger oversight before becoming mainstream. Either way, the fight is no longer just scientific. It's political. The future of food may already be here. What makes this story so fascinating is that cultivated meat is no longer theoretical. Real companies are already producing it, serving it, and improving it every year. People who've tried cultivated salmon often say it tastes surprisingly close to traditional fish, sometimes even cleaner and fresher. Early versions of lab-grown meat reportedly had terrible texture and flavor, but companies have improved rapidly in a short amount of time. The real question now is whether society is ready to accept it.